Right, hey guys, this week we have Dave or DVD. Do you just want to quickly introduce yourself? Let us know your Earth 2 story so far.
Sure, yeah. It's not a great story, I guess, but I started in January 8th, 2021, and I was actually at work. I was barely even into crypto, but I had a coworker who who's been bugging me for a while about getting into crypto.
Yep.
So I finally set that up, and then whatever, a couple months later, he shows me a text he got from another friend of his about Earth 2. So then we kind of look it up, and uh, I looked at Nathaniel and Drone and some of the background of some of these other devs, and I'm like, you know what, this actually looks super awesome.
Mhm.
So I'll throw a few bucks in, whatever. So I threw like $100 in. Um, and kind of went from there. He still is. He's never joined. Oh no, I think he's in now. It took
Okay.
almost, yeah,
Yeah.
a year and a half, I guess, before he joined. I think once he
So
started
you
hearing
missed
about
out.
the crypto, the essence, I think he started joining, but he's probably a little bit disappointed now that nothing's actually launched. But
It will do
it
soon,
will,
hopefully.
yeah.
Yeah, some
So
point.
yeah, so I ended up jumping on that wagon pretty early.
Yeah.
Um, I kind of regretted not going in a little heavier, but I
Yeah, I
mean,
think we've all do that. Everything's kind of
yeah.
easier in hindsight, though, isn't it? If all of
And
us could go back, we'd definitely do things differently.
100%. And now we all have these tiles that we don't know what to do with yet.
Yeah. You're too
So
emotionally attached to actually try to
yeah.
do anything as well. Right. So your first proper question. I know
Yep.
you're a drone player as well as an Earth 2 player. How do you think that is going to tie in with Earth 2 as the future rolls on? I know they're going to have a standalone version, but how do you see drone being kind of incorporated into the Earth 2 brand?
I don't know. That honestly is a tricky one because the way I envisioned it before, like when they actually did the acquisition, I was thinking you'd have probably like a portal or an access to the actual drone game
Yeah.
from Earth 2, right? And it would just kind of be, and then they would just change a few things like the way you set up your own games. Like you can choose to set up your drones with jewel boosters or whatever else, and then you can have rewards that you can set up. um, Things have kind of changed a little bit, and just the way Shane talks about the platform and not really being a game and stuff like that. Like I honestly, I really don't know how to
Yeah.
feel about it right now. So I mean, I can see perimeter drones and stuff like that, like being, you can set up perimeter drones. I don't feel like it's going to be the same drone game though.
Okay.
So I feel like there's going to be aspects that are going to be incorporated into Earth 2.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. There's going to be competitions. I know there was some racing games and stuff like that that drone used to have that they pulled off because they had some issues.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I, yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to enjoy it when it comes.
What I can't remember exactly what they said, but when they released the statement about having the non-Earth 2 version, they said those two are going to be the same, other than one will be Earth 2 and one won't. So one will be using like the essence currency and one won't. So if we've got the standalone version and the Earth 2 version, which are the same, other than that little bit of difference, surely that's not just incorporating bits, though. That's how
I
I've
don't.
thought of it anyway.
Okay, I don't think it'll be the same, to be honest. I mean, I think there might be aspects to it that are similar,
Okay.
but just the way Earth 2 in general has been evolving,
Yeah.
I don't think drone is going to be too much different. I think the drone game is going to be incorporated differently as Earth 2 evolves as well. So I mean, maybe it started out, oh yeah, we'll just have the game,
Uh-huh.
and we'll just do some rewards, whatever. You players can set up essence, or they can set up jewel boosters and stuff. But then I think it's like, oh, we can actually use these drones for
But other things
doing
as well.
sentry, and we can, like, I think it's going to change quite a bit. So they might still have some regular gameplay in there that is going to be similar, but I think it's going to be quite evolved.
Yeah.
So
If they took on a full new team to work on it as well, there's definitely going to at least be some changes in there, maybe some
mhm.
advancements and stuff. But right, let's get back to it. I kind of know this one because I briefly touched upon it before we started talking. What are your thoughts on staking? Have you got involved with that? Do you like that feature of F2?
uh it's fine. It's not my thing. I don't really
Yeah.
have the time to just invest into it, looking for resources and stuff. I mean, I had a couple properties that um, I wanted to make sure there was something on.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I knew limestone should be on my Vanuatu property, and it was there, so I didn't really feel like I needed to put in any sort of claims for that.
Uh-huh.
The other properties I don't really care about too much. If I have coal, I have coal. If I, I'm just gonna get more into the resources and all that stuff when they're actually released. So I mean, at this point, I'm just kind of riding it out.
Yeah, waiting to
And
see what you need, and then you'll see what you've got. That makes
yeah,
sense. So have you not backed any other players
I've
or
probably
anything?
backed a handful. Yeah.
Okay, that's
So
not too bad. Yeah, at
yeah,
least you have got involved with it.
I've
What
I've got involved, but I'm not too heavy into that.
is it?
So
Have you not done too much just because of the time, or is there kind of any improvements that you would make to it to make it easier for yourself?
most of it's, yeah, the time. I prefer to, muck around on the computer in different ways. With the graphics or whatever. I haven't even played too many games. Like even drone, I haven't had the time to play drone lately for a while. And
Yeah.
as you know, I moved recently too, so I'm spending a lot of time around the house. So the time I do have, I just want to, allocate towards either some graphic or some other aspect. So
Yeah, that's fair. Right. So the next one is I think it's quite clear to anyone that's been following your streams or your Twitter and stuff like that that you're quite a bit of a techie guy. How do you think that'll fit in with your kind of Earth 2 stories as we progress? Is that a kind of side that you want to take, or
yeah, I mean, as far as techie, I do still rely on help from other people. So I mean, as far as those hollow buildings go, like I did give a shout out to Griffin for helping me be able to, even just download those GLBs. But then also in the drone Discord, I had help from another member
yeah,
actually get me sorted on, where to be able to convert those. So I mean, I can't do this stuff on my own, so I putz around and there's areas I know I want to go into.
such as what?
But well, just I like the designing and I like just being creative with, some animations and whatever else.
Okay.
But as far as business wise or work wise, like full time in Earth 2, I just like to muck around, honestly. I don't have I don't have a certain niche that I want to get into at this point.
Yeah.
The ecosim is intriguing to me, so I'll probably invest a bit of time into the ecosim once it's a little bit more established.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I'll just muck around until then, and you see what you see.
That makes sense. I like the side of the you're saying like you're working with other people to kind of do your techie things as well. I like that, and I think Shane would appreciate you doing that as well. He's all
Yeah,
about the collaborations going on inside of Earth 2 and stuff. Yeah, I
yeah,
like that. Joining with other players with like-minded ideas to get the job done.
yeah. I think the whole point at this early stage is to just stimulate the growth, right?
Yeah,
Like you just help people out and encourage people to work together and grow.
yeah.
So
I think the connections we're making now as a community are the ones that'll probably last us through the Earth 2 project as well. We'll always
yeah,
kind of go to the people that we remember working with and know well from like the early days and stuff like that. Yeah,
we just got to
so
try not to be cliquey, right?
I think that's impossible in Earth 2, to be honest. I think we
Well, it's
all are.
impossible in Earth 1. Anything that's
Yeah,
impossible in Earth 1 is probably going to be impossible in Earth 2 as far as
yeah.
social dynamic.
I'd agree with you on that,
Yeah,
definitely. Right, do you want to talk us through your Earth 2 portfolio? Kind of how many tiles you're sitting on, T1, T2, your duels and essence dailies, just anything you're willing to share about what you're sitting on.
sure. I'm not a heavy tracker like a lot of people, but yeah, I've got
Yeah.
total about 16,093
Wow.
tiles, 6,030 T1s, and about 10,064
Yeah.
T2s. Jewels, I probably average 16 or so a day. Essence conversion, yeah, I've gotten pretty random on that one.
Yeah.
But I could actually even look that up quickly.
No problem.
But either way, it's probably around 11 or 12 a day at this point, the way things are. So um
That's not too bad.
and
Still a pretty decent portfolio. What sort of areas have you gone for? Have you been going for mega cities or normal built up areas or just bits here, there, and everywhere, or what?
bits here and there. It's as I have money and as
Yeah.
I see people kind of promoting something like Malta or whatever, or uh Shun City,
Thank you.
any of those projects that are kind of going on, it just depends on the mood I'm in or what I'm coming across at the time. I do have my Cradle Earth build, and then aside from that, I kind of just I spitball. So
Yeah, I think a lot.
yeah,
Sorry, go on. Yeah, I think a
I'm
lot of
gonna
us have got mixed bags.
yeah, I'll probably put a bit of time into the United Metaverse project though, because there's a lot of people that have kind of joined in that area. So and there's a lot of different groups in one spot there. So
yeah, I've got a little Shun City. It's not very big. I can't remember any tiles it is, but I do have a little spot for Shun City in there as well.
yeah, so
yeah. If you could add one element or feature to Earth 2 right now, what would that be?
it would definitely be drone.
Yeah,
I would. Yeah, I want my PvP, and yeah, I'd like some drone.
do you think I personally don't, but do you think the PvP that we're getting this year is going to be related to drone or not?
I don't think it's going to be related, but I think they probably used some of the builder for it.
Okay.
What parts, I have no idea, but I mean the logistics portion of the PvP that Shane mentioned is kind of interesting, because it's either going to relate to some sort of transport or whatnot. It doesn't mean it's going to incorporate anything visually to do with drone or anything like that. It could just,
especially with it being web based.
Yeah. So I don't like to put too much speculation into Earth 2 stuff anymore. I put a lot in earlier, and now it's as the information comes, I don't even really know if I trust it too fully, because I know it's going to potentially change down the road again. So
that's fair enough. I mean, we do see a ton of changes. I think even when they set some things in stone, they tend to change as well. So if we're speculating, it's like that's even worse than doing the thing. Yeah.
But it is fun speculating.
It is. Yeah.
So
what is your biggest Earth 2 regret to date?
Well, obviously, like everybody, not buying the right tiles in the right places earlier, but I mean that's all hindsight. Other than that, just my locations where I purchased thinking that location wouldn't matter at all. Because it's a digital world, you can do whatever as long as you can build the area up and bring enough interest to it. It shouldn't matter where you are. But just with the introduction now of AR and everything else, it really will make a difference, I think, on location. So
one of the geolink locations was one of the main things that was in my head when I first joined Earth 2. But I do definitely agree with you that we will have some areas that aren't popular in Earth 1 that are popular in Earth 2. Yeah, just because of the playmate stuff that gets put there. But yeah, we'll probably see it going both ways. I think we're probably a long way off the big AR features anyway. So that'll just be a while before it comes into play.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to be Earth 2's biggest hurdle going forward?
Just the massive amount of people online at the same time actually trying to work this 3D system that they're trying to put out. So I mean that's always been the issue, but I mean if they're working with NVIDIA on their
Omniverse
platform, on their Omniverse platform, it's designed for metaverse projects to be built on it. So I mean it might not actually be an issue. So
we are speculating there, though. We don't know if
we are
to using Omniverse is, in terms of Omniverse, that wouldn't be using Unity though, would it? That's kind of like its own engine.
I think it'd be its own engine. They have their own probably supercomputer built for that thing and everything. So
we'll
it's just
see,
it's a cloud-based supercomputer, which is intriguing. So yeah, I'm interested to see a lot. I mean, it's not just going to be Earth 2 on it. It's going to be a lot of different platforms. So I mean,
they were even mentioning some of the big names getting behind it and doing it. If they manage to take over that space, they're going to be like, even Amazon will be like, they're giant. Like, they're just going to be insane. Like, how the tech's going to go if they've got all the underlying tech behind what all the companies use for their metaverse experience. It's just going to be one of the biggest companies we'll have ever seen on the planet if things go how I think they're going to go.
Yeah, I think it's going to be insane. Very insane.
But we'll see. Right. I've already asked that one. If you could give just one bit of advice to new Earth 2 players, what would that be?
Well, buy off the market when things are not looking good in Earth 2, when everybody wants to sell. Yeah.
So right now.
So right now, that's part. Yeah. There's not a lot going on. Everybody's just getting bored and antsy to sell. So yeah, no, it's a good time.
It is a time to buy. There's there's a lot of discounts at the minute, and you see a lot of people accepting offers. So guys, don't be afraid to like stick cheeky offers on people's properties because people are accepting them.
Yeah, and I guess don't get too involved in your own idea of what you want Earth 2 to become for yourself. Like it's going to change on you and you're going to probably get disappointed. So I mean, just avoid yourself that disappointment and just go for the ride, not for an expected goal.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a good point as well, but it was only meant to be one bit of advice, so stop cheating.
sorry.
It's all good. Right, we're going to move on to the community questions now because that was all of mine done. And the first one is from Yina. And she is saying, recently I watched you use AR technology. Shane's latest tweet says he's willing to work with talented people from the Earth-2 community. Would you like to jump into the E2 team?
It would be interesting to work with the E2 team. I don't feel like I'm qualified. I mean, I read a lot of their requirements and stuff, and I feel like I have like maybe one if I'm lucky on that list. Like I just muck around, so I don't have the actual experience to do what I think they need. And then as far as matching their design style, I mean, that style looks like it keeps changing. Okay. I like currently what they have, like all their adverts that they've been putting out. They've been doing a really good job with. So whoever they have in charge of the design right now is good, and it would be fun to work with someone like that, and at least try to match what they have. And I probably wouldn't go full time on the team.
Okay.
I would probably just work just even pro bono, like just, hey, just to kind of help get my skill up a bit. But also I don't like being under NDA. So
that makes sense.
I don't like keeping secrets like that.
You probably would have to be, even if you're part-timer, wouldn't you? I'm sure you'd still have to.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause they'd have to share things, I'm sure, with me that it's like, I need a design for this future thing that's not out yet. So, I mean, I could keep that under wraps, but like, just, it's tricky when you get so excited about something because it's like nobody else knows about this. I mean, I don't even know how Shane feels about me doing this whole AR thing with the hollow buildings. He's like,
I'm sure we would have seen him telling people off if he had a problem with it.
Yeah, for sure.
So do you do anything kind of related to this in Earth 1? What is it you do for a living, if you're willing to share that?
Currently, I'm an electrical foreman.
Okay, yeah.
So it's not really related. No. I just putz around with the graphics on my own time because it interests me. I like Blender. I like the 3D world, some designing. I don't consider myself good at it. Just the amount of time I have to invest just to put out something that, you can enjoy. You just probably, it's just retarded the amount of hours I actually put into it.
Well, at least we're kind of, with it not being a work skill, we know this is your passion rather than it being something that you just already know from your Earth 1 work. Yeah. Next one is Ship, and they are asking, if you had to pick only one thing that excites you most about the future of Earth 2, what would it be and why? I think I can guess this one.
Honestly, it would. I mean, drone is good, but I'm really looking forward to the virtual reality.
Okay.
The whole, I mean, part of my excitement for it too was my first time going into a virtual reality room. And experiencing the depth that you can't get like on a PC and stuff like that. That blew me away. Like I played, was it some sort of a Prince of Persia style VR escape room, and just you're not even needing to walk around. You just teleport across. But then you're doing puzzles and you're shooting arrows, bows and arrows, whatever. It's like it was just tons of fun. So I'm really looking forward to being immersed into that VR experience.
Yeah. What sort of time frame do you think we've got for E2 reaching VR?
I'm thinking solid 5 years or so. So, I mean, the tech has to be there, and I mean, it advances so fast. So, I think 5 years is probably fair.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Or maybe it's 5 years from them starting, so maybe it's another 3 years from there. I'd say, yeah, 3 to 5 years.
I mean, they've made a lot of progress within the last couple of years for sure.
Yeah, and then kind of once we've got the world there, it's just kind of implementing the tech on the existing game that we already have out there. Yeah. We'll see though. We're just guessing, like everything. Yep. Next one, the Hippo, and he is asking you to explain your username DVDRUN3N, even though that's not how you pronounce it, but there you go.
It's some people like to say DVDRUN3N even. I mean, they like to say that 3, but It's my nickname from high school. My full name is Dave Van Drunen. The Van and the Drunen, so that they're both capitalized. So if I leave out my middle name, then it's DVD. So my nickname has become DVD from high school, and it's kind of carried through. I've tried, and people have worked on carrying it through, even in my different work lines of work that I've been in. So DVD has been a very common nickname for me. But then yeah, my last name Van Drunen, so the Drunen part of it, so it's just ended up becoming DVDRUN3N. So that's and then because I wanted to change it up for a gamer tag, I turned the E into a 3 because it was kind of cool, right? So I guess
Makes it stand out a bit more.
so
No, I get
there's
that.
no real story there other than the DVD portion has been my nickname for a long time, and then yeah, it just kind of worked into the rest of my name.
Just a play on your initials, then adding to it.
Yeah.
That's right. Next we have Bill Gardner, and this is quite a long one, so bear with us while I bugger this one up. Most people speak of the metaverse in a positive light, that this is the future and that they're excited about it. What are some of your concerns about the metaverse as a whole, and also your concerns about E2, if any?
Well, it might be obvious. Like the first thing I put out was a video to the children. It was, I don't know why, but it was it was a passion project, because the metaverse is something that is, to me, inevitable, and it's laced with tons of issues. As I mean, we have a lot of issues just regularly in Earth 1, and we have trouble, with people immersing themselves into technology and leaving their social lives kind of in chaos, but escaping to the digital world. And I mean, that's definitely going to be something that's going to happen with the metaverse. But then there's the predators. There's all sorts of negative things that will work itself into the system. And I mean, we want to keep things positive ourselves. We want to be the positive part of it. But there will definitely be a lot of really negative aspects that are going to have to get filtered out in some ways, but people will always find a way around that. So yeah, there's just going to be a lot of cautionary parts around the youth, and just even you're gonna have different mental issues probably arise from this sort of thing. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, aside from the awesomeness and the coolness factor, there is a lot of negative aspects too. So I mean, we just have to keep that in mind and be aware of it, so that when we're doing our own creations or creating our own platforms or helping create platforms, that we can just help guide it into a slightly better direction. So
yeah, I share your concerns on that. Like, I've got a 7-year-old daughter, and kind of I don't envy her growing up in this kind of technology world. I was in secondary school kind of when people just started getting internet in all the homes and in the schools and stuff like that, and we didn't have people taking pictures every day when I was out getting off my face on stuff I shouldn't have been and stuff like that. And I think that would have affected how I kind of went through life. I don't like the idea of being constantly concerned of, or getting a picture of me doing this might wreck me life forever, or future job prospects and stuff like that. So having to kind of take that into account of I don't envy the youth having to grow up in this world where they can't escape constantly being judged by not just the peers around them, but literally the world, if they kind of mess up and it's recorded or it's done online or something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's good for us to at least be involved in it, I think, just so that we can help kind of guide our kids or even our own kids through it. So because if it's it just seems like it's a beast that's just, it's not going to go away. So we kind of need to navigate that storm a little bit.
And the bullying side of things as well, that the bands can't ever escape the bullying now, because it's, even if traditionally somebody's escape was gaming, now you kind of, it's all online. the people from school and stuff are going to be there. There's one of my good friends, his daughter was getting bullied in school, still in primary school. She was like 11-year-old, and she was getting bullied by people in school. And then he found chats on her Roblox account from the same people that were bullying her, even like outside of school and offline as well. So it is going to be something that, I don't know, I'd say monitored, but you can't even monitor it because it's got privacy laws and stuff looking into people's chats as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hard one there.
It is. But there's going to be definitely, everything beautiful has an ugly side, right? So I mean, and everything ugly has a beautiful side. So for the most part, I mean, depends on where you go with that, but yeah, I think it's going to be still something very awesome that we can do a lot with. So
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of promise there as well. It's not just doom and gloom. I think it's just me parent side coming out when I think about that sort of stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
Next up, we have Erwin, and they are asking, how long have you been on Earth 2? You kind of briefly covered this, actually.
Yeah, since January, so beginning of 2021. So whatever's that, year and 3/4, I guess now, basically.
There we go.
So.
Next up, we have Dr. Vince Dine, and they are asking, well, they are saying, being a drone player and a community member, what do you think about the situation related to Earth 2? Do you think the 5 Studios Interactive acquisition was badly handled?
I don't think there's a single person that thinks that acquisition was handled well. To be honest, it was very, very, like, we all knew it was happening way before it happened. There was no introduction. There was no kind of warm up. Hey guys, this is what's possibly going to happen. The fact, the worst part about it is the silence that was enforced upon the drone devs, I believe. So and just that lack of interaction, it was brutal.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
I mean,
sorry, go on.
So I got along really quite well, I thought, in the drone Discord before the acquisition, and that was definitely like when that I even left the Discord that day when the acquisition happened because it was so toxic.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then I joined again later, but no, I had to just leave that for a bit. It was just the worst acquisition, I'm sure. Well, I can't say that it was very bad, but it probably wasn't the worst. There's probably a lot of really bad acquisitions in the history of acquisitions.
That's fair enough. But from the ones you've witnessed, it was bad though, or being involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, I didn't really go in the drone server. I was a member of the drone server, but I didn't really used to go in it even during the acquisition. I didn't really bother going there and checking out. But since then, I've spent a bit of time and I've spoken to a few of the players, and I've kind of heard their stories about where the devs were under NDAs and they couldn't tell them anything was going on and stuff. But even now, like, they're not really giving any updates. We had a brief one from Shane saying that they're getting the standalone version, but as far as I know, that's pretty much the only tidbit of information that they've had at all.
Yeah, no, and just the lack of, I think, I mean, Sergey was very easy to talk to before too. Even if I just DM'd him, like he'd respond fairly fast, and like he was like, even within like the community, they always had a fairly good relation, from my understanding, with the devs if they needed to chat with them.
Yeah, I saw them saying that.
Yeah. So yeah, there was a huge dynamic change. Just
it will be heartbreaking.
Looking forward to them actually releasing something that hopefully is good and doesn't make everybody disappointed.
How active is the drone community now? Do you still have them actually using the Discord quite a bit as well, or is it dwindled off since Earth2 took over?
There's some stuff happening, I know, on the side that a couple of members have started. I'm not going to say anything about it because I don't know how public they want it to be. But yeah, aside from the drone Discord itself, it's mostly people dropping in and saying, is the game dead? And then everybody's just like, yeah, it sucks, we're dead. But it's so there's not a lot happening there. So
fingers crossed when it is released, when their version is released, that they'll actually there'll have been some decent changes that they're happy with, and they enjoy what F2 has done with it. But we'll see.
To be honest, I think they'll be happy just with the release of what they had, but all in a fully working, like you have a proper lobby, and you have the original games, like the racing speedball, whatever they had, those games. Oh, we have 10 minutes left. I'm just seeing that. Okay.
That's all good. We've only got 2 community questions left, so we'll probably be able to fit them in anyway. The next one is from Ready Player Hack, and they are asking, what is it? I'm not sure if this is relevant to you or if they're just kind of trying to promote somewhere in Earth 2, but they're asking, what is your favorite part of Laos in Earth 2 and why?
Yeah, no, I feel like it's looking for promotion, but I'm gonna say I had to look up how to say this. I think I'm saying it right. It's Zayzombound. Zayzombound, whatever. Pretty sure that's where I have the Cradle Earth portion of, or that might even be the whole metaverse or United Metaverse project in that area. But
okay.
That's where I have kind of my establishment. So I'd have to say that is my favorite part, because there's a lot. I'm gonna probably put a bit of time into that section as well.
So that's where the connection comes in. I understand it now. I didn't realize that's where the United Metaverse was.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got two from Earth2 Explorer, and he is asking, how underrated do you think elite drone players are at the moment? What is needed to bring the drone community on board with Earth2?
I don't think the Earth2 players are not elite drone operators. I don't think they're underrated because currently they're not needed. There's no so I mean at this point you can get as good as you can get, but we don't even know if the game that's going to be released is going to operate the same, because the arena builder, the drones operate way differently than the actual drone game. So I mean, if you've actually flown around in the arena, it's not the same experience. So I mean, you can be an elite operator now, but if they're incorporating the physics and a lot of these other aspects that like give you quite a different feel, like in the drone arena editor, you're gonna have to relearn everything basically, I'm sure. So
that's a good point. Especially with new devs coming on board as well, because like they might have a completely different feel for what they want flying and stuff to be like.
Totally. So you can be it's awesome being an elite, and I mean Earth2 Explorer is very good and he puts a lot of time in. And I mean, like Crowned is probably one of the best drone operators I've seen. He's in the drone server. He's a competition level player, I believe. So like he's good. And then the other question was what's needed. A game
what
is
needed to bring the drone community on board with Earth2.
A game is needed, and people that are actually interested in playing the game that are not into it for the money and the crypto and the NFT aspect. The drone community respects gamers. So if you're there for their game, that's what they will respect. They don't care about you wanting to make this awesome drone so you can sell it as an NFT. They want you to make this awesome drone so you can kick ass in drone.
That makes sense. Do you think the non-Earth2 version of drone, when released, will eventually draw them to the Earth2 version, or do you think they'll just kind of get on with their one standalone version and not really care about the Earth2 version?
You're gonna have a mix of people, because there's definitely members of the drone community that are open to building and even selling. So it's definitely gonna be a mix. You got the hardcore, I'm a gamer, like, you know, I don't like crypto, I don't like NFT. Like they're not gonna be part of E2 just because what E2 will be. But you're definitely gonna get a mix of people that are like, you know what, oh, this is awesome, I can sell my drones and I can, you know, play some games and earn some money. Like you're definitely going to get a good mix, even from the original gamers, I'm sure. So
that makes sense. It completely does. All right, this is the last one from Earth2 Explorer, and he is saying, what will it take for me to get one of your custom drones?
You know what, I've got like 20 or so. They're not the best builds, I kind of just throw things around, but just message me. I can send you a whole folder full.
There you go.
Can just play with them. So
that is all of the community questions, though, and that's all the questions for myself as well. Do you have any subjects or topics you want to touch upon before we call it a day?
You know what, not really. Anything that I think I want to cover, it's going to just be way too much and too in depth. So I'll want to make some videos as time goes on things that just pique my interest. I apologize for not giving the proper shout outs to people when I do things with their whatever holo buildings or their, you know, whatever I want to display, but
I think you always try to.
I jump all over I try to. I jump all over the place. I kind of get distracted. So I mean, I'm gonna miss some stuff out. So I'm gonna just have to ask for some forgiveness as I do things. So yeah.
No, that's right. Like when I was watching your stream the other day, you definitely tried to at least give shout outs to the holo building owners that you were of the ones that you were using. Is there any of your projects that you want to give a brief bit of promo to before we go?
Well, I do have my Cradle Earth project that I do want to give a little bit of a shout out. I mean, if you want to put the link into the property, but I don't really have the time to go over the story about it and everything. So I don't want to really get too much into it. Eventually, as time permits, I'll get something together and put a video out. It's probably going to be one of those things that just takes forever because I keep getting distracted with all these other things that come out, like the eco sim and hollow buildings, and it's like, ooh, I can do this. Like I do jump around a lot, so eventually I'll get back to my own project and
that's fair enough. But if you guys want to know more about the projects that are going on, there will be links to your Twitch and your YouTube and probably your Discord and whatever you want. I'll put them in the description below, so guys, you can find all the contact details and stuff there. Thank you very much for being my guest, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have an amazing day. Do you want to say a quick bye before we go?
Bye.
Thank you very much, mate.
Thank you.
Catch you later.
Yeah, see you later.